Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for coming back. Actually, thank you for sticking around because I haven't posted in about 6 months. I really apologize for that. For you new subscribers out there, I just want to say don't be discouraged. I will post more. This year, I'm going to be posting more on tools, actually teaching tools. So you're not going to want to miss that. However, in this video today, I'm going to be talking about an individual who reached out to me through LinkedIn. Now, I get reached out through LinkedIn all the time. People ask me questions about jobs. People ask me questions about Kaizen, root cause analysis, Six Sigma. And this particular question came from an individual who is working for a company and was told to do a Kaizen. And we're not talking about the 2-second Kaizen made possible by Paul Akers, right? We're talking about a legitimate week-long Kaizen that is very complex in nature. Now, I'm not knocking the 2-second Kaizen. I love 2-second Kaizen. I think that's how we build cultures, but that's not what this is about. And so I'm going to dive into the email. I'm going to respect privacy, obviously, and just cover that up, but just read what the person was saying and give you the gist, because I want you all to know that you're not alone. I get reached out to about this topic, and different person, different company, same story. And I know there are people out there who are struggling with Kaizen and who are being pushed into Kaizen. So there are two really main purposes of this video today. One is to talk to those people about Kaizen and about what we can do to coach up, to manage Kaizen activity or Kaizen events that we've never participated in. I've never done a Kaizen. Now I'm being asked to do a Kaizen. That's one thing, right? I want to talk about that. I guess there are three things. The second thing would be I want to speak to the individual who wrote the email. Of course, I responded in the email, but I want to give a few tools that this person can use moving forward to remedy what they're trying to solve with their Kaizen. And the third person I want to talk to, if I were thinking of avatars and people that I want to talk to and have that person in mind, it would be leaders and coaches, specifically the leaders that are pushing people into Kaizen without the proper training or coaching. I want to speak to those individuals today. First individual, people that are being pushed into Kaizens, don't have a lot of experience. Second individual is very specific to the person that wrote the email. And then the third individual would be the leaders. Let's look at the email. Thank you for the connection. I'll try not to take too much of your time. Been watching a lot of your videos lately, thank you, about Kaizen, and I have an upcoming event that I feel ill-prepared for. Quick background, I've been focusing more and more on continuous improvement initiatives over the past 5 years. It's a career path that I've fell into, and I've done well with researching and developing better products and or processes, but it's not something I've done using traditional methods. And I'm at a point now where I want to focus on my personal growth and utilizing tools that will help me reach my growth potential. With that being said, I have become familiar with tools. The problem is that I haven't had much mentorship on properly using and applying tools. And I have a Kaizen event that was sprung on me this week that I need to deliver or that needs to be held next week. The basic overview is that the company increased machine output, but the infrastructure, people, storage, that kind of thing, they're not able to keep up with the output that the machines are capable of delivering. This will be the first Kaizen event I have participated in, let alone led, and there isn't much support. Now listen, this person said they're going to hold their head high, although they know there's a possible chance of failing. I'm not going to go into all of that. It's almost done anyway with the email. I did go into emails of saying, hey, here's some things you can think about. Here's some things you can do, some tools you can use. But I did say it's going to be difficult, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I gave him some tips on how he could handle that. And then I did follow up a couple of times, and recently, even today, followed up and said, hey, how did it go with the Kaizen, all things considered, Chad? We were not able to achieve what upper management wanted us to achieve, but we acquired data to prove what they really wanted wasn't feasible due to other constraints. Now, all of that would have been done prior to the Kaizen, and you would have actually fixed the issue during the Kaizen. And to this person, I think you've done great. I want to, first of all, say that. I know I alluded to it in the email that you stayed positive, but I really want to say you've done a great job. You've done exactly what I would have done had I been pushed into this as well. I would have held my head high. I would have stayed positive. I would have grumbled to myself maybe in front of the mirror, but I would have gotten on with it, right? Because that's what we do, and that's what you're supposed to do, especially early on in our careers. Early on in our careers, we want to be seen as high performers. We want to be seen as the go-to person. We want to be seen as someone who doesn't shy away from complex issues that need to be solved because the business needs complex issues solved. And sometimes you just don't know what to do. My guess is the people that push them into the Kaizen probably don't know either. They don't know how to run a Kaizen. They just know they need to fix something. They need to fix a problem. All right. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is structure that needs to be put in place so that you get farther in that week. And that's what the Kaizen Pro system teaches. That's why I launched a Kaizen Pro system. And that's why people struggle with Kaizen, is because a lot of people don't know how to run a Kaizen. You did great, man. You did really good. You did really well. And you got some results. Did you fix the issue? Did you come out with what you wanted? No. But you learned. And anytime you go into a situation like that and you come out and you might feel a little defeated, but always remember you learned something, right? And I think this individual, he knows that. And there's an action plan. I knew that would happen because it always happens when you don't go in with a structured charter. You don't go in with a structured way of Kaizening the issue. You always leave with an action plan. And always remember this, you should never leave a Kaizen with an action plan. You should go in with a very specific issue and walk out with that issue resolved. Done and dusted, as they say, right? Let me address to this individual what I would do next. Based on the information that you gave me in the email, it's a capacity issue. And so I would work on standard work combination sheets. I would understand the Yamazumi and the operator loading chart. Those are the three main things. You did talk about flow, so I would also do a cell layout that fits in with standard work combination sheets. Make sure all that matches up, and you can do research on those topics. You should have enough to get you started, maybe even finish. I don't know. You should have enough information there to go figure it out on your own. I certainly don't have enough time in this video. It could take hours to teach that. Here's the thing. When you do your standard work combination sheet and you think about, okay, we have a capacity issue. Do you? Maybe you do. Make sure that whatever you're producing on that machine, because you said the machine was producing more than the people could keep up with, you don't have the infrastructure for that. What's the takt time? Are you producing more than the customer wants? But figure out that takt time, okay? And takt is always time available divided by customer demand. So I've covered the individual. Now let's talk about people that would fit into this category where you're being pushed into a Kaizen, because I get those emails all the time. When you're being asked to deliver a Kaizen, the first thing you should think of is, what am I trying to accomplish? And a lot of times it's difficult to articulate that. But there's a document that will help you, and it's called the charter, the Kaizen charter. There's free examples. Just Google Kaizen charter. You'll get a ton of examples that are free. And they're all about the same. What you're looking for there is you're looking for a few key items on that charter. One, you want to make sure you have the problem statement. You want to make sure that you have a very specific metric you're trying to fix, and you want to make sure that the problem is scoped correctly. In other words, you want to make sure you're saying, hey, when we go into this Kaizen event, where are we starting and where are we ending? Because if we don't have those two things, we're going to be trying to fix everything. And I guarantee you, management, I'll talk to management in a moment, but management will want you to fix everything and you won't get it done. You'll leave with a big action plan, nothing gets done. But listen, there's a time and place for the action plan. The Kaizen is very specific. The Kaizen you should walk out of the Kaizen having fixed, remedied, countermeasured a very specific problem. And if you're being pushed into the Kaizen charter, make sure you bring out the charter and start filling that out with a team, not by yourself, you and at least the team lead. Now, who is a team lead, Chad? If you're the facilitator, there should be a team leader. Now, the team leader is the process owner. And this individual who had the problem, who emailed me through LinkedIn, they didn't have a team leader. This person was new to the business. So I'm new to the business. I've never ran a Kaizen. I'm being asked to run a Kaizen. It's a lot of problems there, right? To top it all off, I have to lead the Kaizen. That's 101, right? 101 stuff. We don't want to do that. Why? Because who's got skin in the game other than the person who's facilitating the Kaizen event? No, the team lead should have skin in the game. If I'm the team lead, it's my process. I'm the process owner. So I want to fix my process. I shouldn't have a facilitator fix my problem. I should have a facilitator, a Kaizen facilitator, know the tools of Kaizen, lean, and that kind of thing to lead me and my team through all the complexity of the problem to get us to some result. But I shouldn't expect that facilitator to fix my problem. If that were the case, then come on, just fix all my problems and let me go do my own thing, right? That's not the way it works. All right, we want skin in the game from the team lead. The team lead is the process owner. Here's the thing. What if you have a process owner who is the team lead, who is a great facilitator in Kaizen? Can they be the same person? Sure. The Kaizen facilitator can be the process owner and team lead, right? The process owner, who is also the team lead, can absolutely be the Kaizen facilitator if they're really experienced in Kaizen tools and techniques. However, if the Kaizen facilitator not own the process, they should not be the team lead as well for the Kaizen. All right, so when we're talking about the charter, team lead, and the Kaizen facilitator, obviously those are the ones that are really filling out the top part of the charter, and then you can bring the team in for the rest of that to really scope it out. So now I'm going to cover the third person avatar that I want to talk to, and that is managers, leaders, who are asking their folks, their subordinates, whatever you want to call it, to go out and do a Kaizen. Listen, we all want our problems fixed, right? But we have to do it the correct way, in a structured way. And you want to make sure you are giving your people the tools to perform correctly. You want to make sure that, first of all, they're trained up on Kaizen. You want to make sure that you're trained up on Kaizen probably too, that you have some idea of what Kaizen is so that you can help coach them if you need to. And that might not always be the case, but you certainly need a coach for someone who's never delivered a Kaizen, right? You don't want to say, hey, you're new here, or hey, have you ever delivered a Kaizen before? No. Oh, go look up Kaizen and then deliver one next week. That's just not feasible. Let me tell you what's going to happen. One, that person is going to be really jaded. They're not going to like Kaizen. Some people will bounce back. This individual, very positive, sounds like this person's going to bounce back and just keep forging on. Not everybody's like that. In fact, a lot of people are not like that. So you don't want them to get into a situation where they're not happy with Kaizen. The second thing that's going to happen is that if you are able to convince someone to do the Kaizen or voluntold someone, whatever, you make somebody do a Kaizen, right, because they work for you, and then they go into the Kaizen event ill-prepared, don't have a charter, don't really know what they're doing. They're doing the best they can with what they've been given. The team is going to be let down. The team is going to know right away that this person's struggling. The team is going to also probably walk away from Kaizen thinking, what did we waste a week for? We literally came in here, wasted a week, and came out with an action plan. Didn't finish anything. And so that's going to give Kaizen a bad name. And let me just be blunt for a second. That's not Kaizen failing you. That's you failing Kaizen. That's you not properly setting up your people for success, whatever that may be. And yeah, I applaud you and the team and this person for going in and trying, because that's important. But what are the opportunity costs that are happening because of that? Maybe nothing this time. Maybe everybody that works at your business is just happy-go-lucky and they think everything can work out. And even though you go into Kaizen, it didn't go that well, we'll get it on the next one. Maybe that's your company. I don't know. I've worked for a lot of companies. I can tell you most of the time that's not the case. So I would say that I recommend and encourage everyone to always have a structured process for everything. You want structured process of problem solving. And a lot of people say, I know I can problem solve. Yeah, I get it. You probably do, but not everybody does, right? A lot of people think they know how to problem solve, but they don't. A lot of people think they can Kaizen, but they can't. But if you have a structured way of problem solving, you increase the probability of the outcome, right? Of a positive outcome. If you have a structured approach to Kaizen, you increase the probability of success of that Kaizen. If you go into either situation, root cause analysis or Kaizen, without some sort of proven structured approach, then you're just guessing. And if you come out of that situation and you win, let's say you didn't go in with any type of structured approach, but you came out of that event and you solved the problem or whatever, you countermeasure the issue, then you're going to think that worked. But it didn't. You just got lucky. And 99% of the time, you're not going to get lucky, right? And if you do, it won't happen the second time. So you want predictable results. And the only way to get predictable results is to go in with a structured approach. Structured approach always equals predictable results. It's not always the same. It's not always easy. It's not always buttoned up as nice as you'd like. It's predictable. All right. And that's all I'm saying. So I'll get off my soapbox on that. Hopefully I've covered everything in this video I wanted to cover that gets this point across. Hopefully you understand exactly what I'm saying and I'm not rambling too much. But if I am, tell me in the comments section. You won't hurt my feelings. If not, tell me if you agree and if you've encountered these situations. And I want to hear from both sides. I want to hear from folks that are being voluntold to go do a Kaizen and you really struggle with that Kaizen and this is resonating with you. But I also want to hear from the management side and the leaders that might be watching this video who are, thinking of telling people to do a Kaizen, or maybe you've even told someone to do a Kaizen and root cause analysis and solve my problem. and you weren't able to coach them, or you didn't give them proper tools, and you're not getting those predictable results. I want to hear from you as well. Keep it positive, folks. I like to keep things positive. If I get things negative, I just delete it anyway, so don't waste your time. I want to keep it positive on the channel. I'm not saying that if it's someone like giving me some criticism, I don't mind that. I don't mind that type of negativity. I just mean keep it positive, right? We got folks on this channel who are trying to better themselves in their careers, and I want to help them do that. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.